Hello, everybody. I am back. Today we're going to talk about the man that resides within the box-like structure. I have not warmed up, but one of the things I like doing with teaching and with doing some of these videos is not always trying to come across like a lot of vocal teachers might, or a lot of people that play instruments and teach, that I'm perfect and that one day you can be perfect too if you follow my 12-part course for 9 payments of $99.99. Anyway, I like the fact that there's a little bit of honesty and realism and a little bit of here's how to get there. Because if you follow along with me on that journey, you might also take some of the same paths and find that it gets a little bit better instead of being like, do this, this, and this, and then you're going to be golden. Because that's not how this works. So, like I said, we're going to talk about Man in the Box. Come along, let's do it. All right, so I've been teaching for 14 years. If you want to book lessons with me and you like these lessons, you can do so on sterlingrjackson.com. And I also have been putting these lessons up, or extended lessons, for a long time here on Patreon exclusively now. But in the interest of, still getting more students and things like that and being able to still educate people, here I am doing this song. So this is something that comes up with a lot of students all the time. I'm going to try to go through the information quickly as to not make this video 20 minutes long, but it's probably going to be 20 minutes long. Like I said, the song comes up very often. One of the problems with a song like this and students that are coming to me to try to learn something like this is that it's the best thing they ever heard. How do I do that? That seems like quite a different place or difficult place to start with your vocal journey, especially not knowing how to breathe, how to place your voice, how to support, anything like that. So do be mindful of that and be gentle on yourself throughout this journey, as if you're measuring yourself up to one of the things you consider to be the best ever, it's going to take you a little bit to get there, or to even get kind of close to something that might work. If you are nailing it right out of the gate, there's also a chance that you're doing it poorly and you're just wrecking yourself. And so I'll shut up with all that. Let's start to get into this. As I was going to say, though, I like to say things in different ways so that people might hear the information one way and then hear it again a different way and then be like, now I get it because I broke it down in a different way. First of all, we all know the intro. We all know the meow. Some people have more of a natural nasality, etc., but these are things you want to dive into, think about, and experiment with, because they're very important to your vocal journey. Now, he had a higher voice, Layne Staley. He was like 6'1", but he sounded like he was a smaller guy and had a higher voice. So that's going to affect things that I'm doing here and might affect you as well. About 85% of the people I've taught are baritones. They have a bridge pretty much right where mine is. Layne Staley was not that. He had a bridge a little bit higher than what you would probably consider a typical male lower type of voice. So when I go, might sound a little bit of a different nasality or something, because I'm having to go a little bit further up the chain than he was naturally doing. But let's get into the verse. So the more I play the song, the more it will be copyrighted, and then I can't show people the video. It's going to happen anyway, and then I'll have to fight it. But anyway, first things first. We have a little bit of lower jaw engagement. Some people don't like to admit that with Layne, or for whatever reason, because they act like it's a dumb thing or something. But everybody has a certain lack of, or a certain interaction with the muscles in their face and their jaw while they're singing. The perfect version of that is to try to have no interaction whatsoever, so that you can learn how to be completely free and open, and then bring back in as much enunciation as you want. So if I went, I'm the man in the box, you should see that I have no engagement in the jaw there almost whatsoever. But as I pull a little bit of his style into it, I'm the man in the box. There's a little bit of play in there of how much I'm kind of protruding this jaw, how much I'm kind of using it. It's not necessarily always going to be, going like this, like a fucking bulldog, but there is some interaction with that. Play with that. Maybe that feels right to you. The most the epitome of lower jaw is Scott Stapp from Creed. Well, I just heard the news today. Seems my life. Everything is going to keep happening there. He's not doing that, but there is some lower jaw interaction, which makes a little bit of a grungy type of feel. Anyway, like I said, playing with that. Now, without getting too crazy into this, we have a pretty standard, decently supported, I'm the man in the box. Haven't listened to this song in a while. Buried in my shit. So we have a little bit of compression, which adds a little bit of this kind of feel. Kind of almost sounds like I'm talking like Bruce Springsteen or something, man. So I'm kind of holding back a little bit of that breath in there, and it gives me a little bit of that attitude, a little bit of that kind of rock sound, I guess you could call it in this case. I'm the man is without. Now, one of the cool things about compression like this is that the more I start throttling that and holding back, the more it's kind of foreshadowing where I'm going to be going. So if I have a little bit of this sound in there, it kind of foreshadows the fact that I'm going to start digging into that shit the further I go. Practice something like that. A lot of times vocal teachers will tell you things like try holding your breath, but recognize in this case that there are different compression points within the throat. It's not just going to be, I'm the man down here. Are you going to sound like a dying old man? Is another compression point up further in the neck. I'm the man. And there I can more easily access distortion, false chord, etc. So try these things, experiment with these things. Anyway, let's continue. Shit. Here's jaw right there. Buried in my shit. So it's not buried. It's not too much, but it's not without. Buried in my shit is me. That's my voice. And you could really hear it just when I press play there. So like I said, another fun thing. I'll mention another thing about placement here too. Even if you don't know what placement is, I want you to imagine when you're singing something like this, even the placement of the head. If you're placing your voice like this, like you're kind of whispering the song to somebody, you're going to find that you probably have more of what we'll refer to as a forward placement. And you're going to start using more of this stuff, which is not necessarily desirable, and it's definitely not going to give us more of the sound. Buried in, and it's more bright, and it's more forward and pingy. But I want you to bring your head in like you're starting to maintain and hold on to this sound that's coming out of your head. And it's going to be guided more up towards the face and up towards the nostrils, the head, the pharyngeal zone, whatever the hell you want to say. But in this case, we're going to think about it more like attitude. So we have buried in my shit, where I'm kind of going like this. And again, that might seem extreme or goofy, but I'm not trying to go, yeah, you guys. I'm just saying, think about it in physical terms. And I'm going to feel that guided pressure that I'm pushing up, how it's being built up in here, and how I'm kind of utilizing what's called placement. So try to practice that as well. But let's get on to the little bit of a different part here. Hopefully you already know a little bit about breathing and support. You could hear me adding vibrato to that just like Layne is. Okay, here we go. So we hear, I think there's a backup vocal in there from Jerry, and then we hear, it sounds like a vocal double. I don't know if there's a vocal double throughout the whole song, but you hear that kind of phase type of weird thing happening. That's from a vocal double, so, you know, if you're not getting that sound, that's because there's two versions of the same thing sung and then pushed together in terms of the mix. So that note right there, for me and for a lot of people, is already going to get a little bit shitty because it's an F-sharp 4 where 85% of the people I talked about that I've taught over 14 years have their physical bridge. their main part. So they're either going to want to go louder, or if you learn about mixed stuff, you might be able to go quieter. He is pretty much in a typical speaking register, barely kind of compressing and able to hit that easily, more easily than I am, or whatever. I can still do it, of course. Won't you? Won't you? I don't have to work that hard, but again, considering it's right on my bridge, I can't just go, whoa, like this. I have to start, whoa, cultivating and holding that sound in. So again, that's an F-sharp 4 if you want to kind of break that down and practice it. You come and save me. And he's got a little bit of this again. Save me. And again, we pull that attitude in. Kind of like this. If you want another version of this that's really kind of nice with less jaw engagement, of course, go to Chris Cornell. Everything is sung up through here, everything, like he has a really big upper lip. Won't you come and save me? It's being held within here and kind of barely enunciated. Won't you come and save me? It's just kind of being held in here. So this is similar to the way I tend to sing too, but it's because I learned from a lot of great people like these guys. Let's get to the chorus, shall we? Do keep in mind, again, that I'm moving through this stuff quickly, but this is also complicatedly difficult shit. Not quite as complicated if we stay in our chest, but the moment we start pushing closer and closer to that bridge or over that bridge, people are going to be like, I can't do this. And that makes sense because it's not easy. Waiting for it. Save me. So one of the great things about this, and one of the great takeaways about listening to something like this and starting to try to perpetuate a singing voice that works for you and makes sense and this information, is hearing how blasted open he is, how much he's choosing to be open, and how much that's giving him this big, powerful type of sound. What that means is that if you're going and doing anything like this, everything is closing in on itself because you're not open. But going, again, the lyric is feed, which he's not doing at all. He's going fade, and he's opening up to fade to get his throat to be open and to get this space in here, or wherever we are, to be as open as we possibly can so we can resonate, push down into it, and have it be nice and projected and powerful. Now, another important thing is to look him up online. Doing this, there are many times where he was not doing it as well, and he's completely arrested in the body, pushing like a motherfucker. It's something to note and take away as you're learning these things, that if something is not working, especially with males, their instinct is to always try harder and push harder. That is never, almost ever going to work, and if you end up trying for like an hour and then it does work, you have gotten certain parts of your voice to swell and just kind of give up, and that is not conducive to any type of healthy singing or anything, by the way. That's similar to taking a weight that's really hard to pick up at the gym and then having trouble with it and be like, fuck this, I'm going to go 10 pounds higher, and then fucking just trying to throttle it. It's never going to work that way. Back off and try to maintain these things, or do what we're going to do here in the following exercises. The note he's hitting is a B flat 4 or an A sharp 4. Hey! So, first of all, I always teach sirens. See if we can get there in any type of way that makes some kind of physical sense, and then see if we can connect the diaphragm to it instead of just going full tilt like this. But let's start lower. If you can't get up to that note, but you can't do notes under it in a similar fashion, well then why the hell are you trying to hit that note and just push it out of your face? Take notes lower. Take it way down here, for example. This is before my bridge and most people's bridges, males, lower voice folks. Fade in my eyes. So I'm still going to use fade. I'm going to see how that feels in the mouth. Fade. And I'll try to open it up, and I'm going to try to see if I can add support to that. So I'm going to see if my neck will open up and everything will accommodate for the pressure that I'm throwing at it. Then I'm going to try to pull in some of this distortion, some more of this compression. Fade. my eyes, fade my eyes. And like I said, if you have trouble doing this, don't just rush to A4. So hopefully you can get a little bit of that there. Or like I said, maybe you can just do an open version of it without the distortion. Fade my eyes. Nice and supported, nice and open. And you can also play with the openness of it. Fade. That's me going, oh, and really opening very vertical, very operatically. Now let's just skip so the video doesn't get too long because I'm already at 16 minutes. I told you it was going to be 20 minutes. Here's F sharp 4. So we're going to try to do this. And like I said, I haven't warmed up or anything. So we're going to see if I start falling to pieces because you do want to warm this stuff up. But another good thing about this is that we're looking for chord closure and connection. So we're trying to hold this together and then push into it. We're trying to arrive, get the throat stretched into position, everything into position, to then process the sound and get it to be more of what we're hoping for. If that means you can only do it on an O at first, fo, that's great because you're there. Now we need to kind of see how the throat is reacting and see if I can make it more of an A. Fo, A! And then it's just kind of different logistics there. But here's F sharp 4. Fade my eyes. Fade. And the reason I keep doing that is to show you that we're gliding and slipping into position or stretching into position. We are not attacking the note. Fade like this. That's going to take the whole body and go like this, and that's not good, and that's definitely not fun to do on stage when you're like, here it goes. Fuck! So we want to stretch into position. So keep trying this with me. Here's a whole note after that. Whole note up. So we're a whole note away from the A sharp 4. Not good with all these letters and numbers. So again, trying to stretch up to it. Fade my eyes. Fade. Or we can try it with O. Fo. Or you can try it with oo to let some more head voice in. Fo. Fade. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. And here is the dreaded A4. So if you've been paying attention, this is way over most people's bridges. We're going to try to keep the throat open to have more of a chesty sound, but do recognize that by now we're pretty much way up here. That does not mean we're choosing to go fade my eyes or use a head voice sound. We are connected with compression, with mixed type elements by stretching the larynx down, etc., etc. But we are not in straight up chest. Fade! We're not there anymore. He is close to his bridge, maybe a little bit right on it, maybe a tiny bit over, but he's able to hit it a little bit heavier than I would be, or maybe most males. So stretching to get there. Fade my eyes. Jesus Christ. If you notice that I'm still pulling down and in, because I'm shutting these muscles out of the equation. Again, I want to resist the urge to go like this, and pull all these neck muscles in. I want to pull down and in, and you'll see opera singers and a lot of people do this too. It's helping to connect and open the throat. But anyway, I said I would go through this fast. That's pretty much what we're trying to do. There's some vowel enunciation. There's a lot of different things in there, but I'm going to take this over to Patreon. I'll see you guys soon.